Red Bull and vodka, I'm a psycho like Chopper.
Yes, Zack, what's it? I'm getting ready.
Bruh, like I didn't take notes.
True.
I think I
Took
need this before.
notes. You know how many notes I took?
Bruh, I got out my freaking. I went to Walmart. I went to a while. Got my Trapper Keeper and my Pee-wee folders.
I just licked all the stacks of sticky notes.
Did you? Like
Got
at
'em.
Walmart?
Yeah, got them good.
I ordered some Lisa Frank stickers off Amazon.
Some
And
Frank
Frank.
stickers.
Oh,
God damn it. And this is why this is the only time this is ever going to happen.
Yeah, bro, one and done. That's what I always say.
Is it possible
I
to
said
get
that once.
banned on podcast?
You guys are just going to kick me in a mysterious turn of events. This is now your podcast.
Oh, okay. Then welcome everyone to the Check West podcast. I'm not your host, Burning Tree Emissary's ex-boyfriend, and joining me today is someone who makes Karn look like Fabio, and someone else who owns at least 2 Stoneforge Mystic-themed fleshlights. Boys, how you doing today?
Oh, those are so good.
Dude,
Alright.
I could outbench Karn. Come on.
I'm talking about the hairdo.
Yeah, it was
Oh.
more of the hair thing.
Oh yeah, he got me. Well.
The bald silver golem.
Oh my, that was kind of flawless. I'm pretty impressed with myself,
Yeah.
energy-wise, and
No
like,
stutter. Delivery was great.
thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate.
you
that,
really outdid yourself. It sucks that you just wasted all of your energy for our cold open, and then the rest of the podcast is going to be garbage.
Yeah, that's fine.
What is up, Pack Rats? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. I am your host, the Sugar Tyler, and joining me are 2 very, very special guests. I have the Spice Rupert and the Everything Nice Zack with me today. Boys, what is going on?
Just happy to be here with the Powder Puff boys. Apparently.
No, we're the Rowdy Rough Boys. That was the bad guys.
The
It's-
Rough Riders anthem, Theodore Roosevelt.
Yeah.
I'm a straight rider. There's no denying.
God damn it. Welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here.
It is absolute pleasure.
Sadly, I waste an hour and a half listening to this every week of my life. So it's interesting to waste like 3 hours being on it.
Now you get to peek behind the curtain,
That's right.
the deconstructed view of
From
how.
1,500 miles away, I'm peeking behind that virtual curtain.
Yeah, it's a metaphorical curtain, but a curtain
It's-
nonetheless.
It's nice though because then you don't have to listen to this whole episode because you know what it's about, right?
Yeah,
I'm still
exactly.
probably gonna listen to it.
Oh yeah. Gotta
Yeah,
listen to
you're
it.
gonna drag yourself through the hour and a half it takes to listen to it.
Yeah, I'm a masochist too, and I just want to hate my voice an hour and a half.
Well, boys,
And I do want to hear how Zack sounds.
yeah, it's worth just hearing the scope of people, like how bad everybody sounds. Well, boys, you guys aren't content creators, so you don't have that claim to fame. You're not
Correct.
famous magic people. You're not Corey, which is the only other guest we've had. Boys, why are you here?
We grew up near you.
I just got a text about it. I don't really know, man.
I just work here. Yeah,
That's about it.
this is
Location.
this is the inaugural podcast of the boys from back home, the honkies.
I like that.
That's right.
Yeah, so you guys are the 2 of the 5 people that I started playing Magic with,
Yeah.
Yep.
and because obviously Matt, having a child, we're gonna have to have some guests in here, and I thought, why not have the original Magic crew on to talk shit about this dumb card game?
Makes sense to me. Also, congratulations to Matt.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't name it Tyler though, I'm revoking that congratulations. But for now,
Zach's a great name. Consider it.
we're just like, nope, don't even bother.
No, I honestly, overpopulation's horrible. Just like congratulating him because I have to.
So, boys, I feel like a good way to jump into this whole thing is going over the origin story from your guys' side of things.
Okay.
So, how did Magic start with, I guess, you guys individually and then all of us as a group?
Who's going first?
Zach, it's all you.
So for me, I had 2 older brothers. They're about 10-ish years older than me. And right before they left the house, I was probably like 8, 9 years old. And I would always see them like playing Magic in our living room, like kind of later in the evening. I always wondered what it was. They tried to explain it to me, but I was a idiot child, had no idea. But it always just seemed like this really interesting hobby that they had, and never understood it. But when they moved out, he left. My oldest brother left some of his cards at the house, and I was like, "Hey, you left your cards?" He's like, "Yeah, man, all yours." so then I just had this box of old cards that was his and then my other brother's as well. And I never really did anything with them, just skated a bunch. And then I think Rupert brought it up to me about him playing with some people. And I was like, oh shit, people play this still?
This game still exists?
And so I went and like dug up all the old cards and stuff and ended up selling a couple of them that were worth some money to end up buying the dual deck, the Elspeth and whatever dual deck at the time. And I think I gave you, Tyler, the Elspeth deck to play with. And so I think that might have a little impact on your love of white cards.
Oh yeah, both of you guys are almost solely responsible for my love and admiration for white.
If you gave him Elspeth, I gave him a white weenie deck. Was definitely the first thing that he played.
Oh yeah,
with like Precinct Captain and
Unruly Mob
and stuff in it. Oh hell yeah!
I don't even think we were advanced enough for like Mentor of the Meek at that point.
No, I think Mentor's in that deck because
that was like, then props to me.
Because I remember having that card and being like, well, why would I pay a mana to draw a card when I have something else to play in my hand? Because I had no idea what the fuck I was
already have value. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. I already have the cards. Why would I need to draw more? That's stupid.
That's what a waste of money. Why would I want options?
But yeah, we did that, and then we just kept playing as a crew and with some of the other guys from home, and that's pretty much that from my perspective. Never haven't stopped yet. So
that's a good transition to Rupert's origin story, which it was before me and Zack. I think you were the one who kind of brought it into the group.
In the latter half, yeah, but kind of like Zack, it was just introduced to me at an age when it was just over my head.
You were a stupid kid.
We were playing Pokemon cards based on its power. Like, it's straight up HP. Was like, you just drop down a card and it's whichever HP was bigger won, basically. And that's where our brains were at, card game wise.
Yeah, we were
so
just
seeing
underdeveloped.
Magic cards and like being able to not pronounce things. Not that you couldn't pronounce all the Pokemon, but there was like the freaking anime that went with it at least. But I had a friend who was much smarter than myself, and he even had an older brother. And they had a bunch of cards, and they tried to teach me at one point. It was over my head. And then tried again later on, probably in like the late 20s, before like 2010 even, trying it again. And then, well, maybe not even. I guess right after it would have been like M11. Innistrad would have been after. I'm trying to think. Sorin was in like, it was a 6-drop Sorin card, was in like the first core set that I was like really, really getting into. And then I had bought like a collection of cards before that.
I think that was like right after Zendikar. That was like the core set in between Zendikar and Innistrad.
Word, that math checks out. Yeah, and then returned to Ravnica's when I really got into it, and then brought it to you guys. And then me and Zack played it. Tyler made fun of it, and then Tyler tried it, and now Tyler plays it more than me and Zack play it.
A lot.
I can vividly remember in my brain walking into somebody's house, and you guys are sitting. Yeah, you guys were sitting at the table, like throwing pieces of cardboard at each other. I'm like, what are you fucking nerds doing? And we're like, you're like, it's Magic the Gathering. You should try it. And I'm like, who do you fucking think I am, a dweeb? I'm never touching that shit. And then a week later, I was fucking neck deep in it.
We're used to like skateboarding and like gaming and killing shit in video games and mall walking and making fun of people and watching the same movies over and over and over and over.
Pretty much,
really cool.
And then it's like, oh, what the fuck is this cardboard?
Just watching Grind repetitively.
Yeah, Grind, called Cow.
Throwback to Grind. One of the greatest movies of all time.
Depends on who you ask, but yes.
Not subjective. That's it's in the Criterion collection.
No, yeah, that is an objective fact.
Meryl Streep wishes she was in that movie.
That is to which everything else is judged. Is Grind. Top tier.
Speaking of which, watched Brink the other day. Doesn't hold up.
It doesn't hold up. That makes me sad.
Don't watch it. Just remember it the way it was, and you'll like it.
The capitalist mentality is really taking the Soul Skater out of your body.
Sucked the soul right out of your skater.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we all started playing. And it has just like continued. That was what, like 2011-ish, right?
It was before that.
2011, 12. No, I'm thinking it would been because it would have been after y'all graduated.
Yeah, this was like post high school.
Right.
But
so
like,
right after high school.
College age kids.
Right. Because that's when grown men need to be getting into card games. It's after they graduate high school.
I don't know, because I remember getting to college, and before I joined my fraternity, I showed up and I was like, well, these people play Magic too?
Oh,
And
that's
I've
home.
because I've been playing it for a while beforehand, so I think it was before. And I remember going to the
Did you join the
Johnstown
frat
out
right
to a
off the
card
bat?
shop. No, I waited a year.
See, there you go. Maybe you started in that year.
So it was like freshman year of high school or of college.
So it would have been like 2011, 12.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was right.
Okay, yeah, that checks.
Yeah, my brain is just firing on all cylinders, baby.
Time, brother.
But and like Rupert mentioned, we all played together as kind of like a just like very hyper casual group. Like I can remember us going to like pre-releases and like limited events, but outside of that, like we were never really big into Constructed. I only got really into Constructed when I was like at college and didn't have you guys around constantly.
Right, but I barely played Standard to begin with. Like I played casually and then barely played Standard and couldn't get like too into keeping up with it. So then it just became casual again, and then it became like Commander, Pauper, Commander, casual formats across the board.
Yeah, like Zach, you have one modern deck, and you've had that one modern deck for.
I haven't
years?
altered that deck since the Pittsburgh GP. So
that was like GP Pittsburgh 2016 or 17.
yeah, I haven't touched a card in that deck since. I've played it, but I haven't changed any of the cards or replaced them with anything better yet. So
Well, to be fair, it's 8 rack, and it really hasn't changed all that much. There's like 2 cards that have come out, and
8 rack
that's
never
the
goes
whole
out of
thing.
style. That's the thing. It's always going to be right there lurking below playable, you know?
It's like the dark jeans, black T-shirt of Magic. Like it might not be, it, but it's always like a functional outfit.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
No, like you're never gonna walk into some place and somebody's gonna be like, "Wow, look how stylish that person is," but you're not gonna be like, "Wow, that guy's dressed like a fucking homeless man."
But yeah, I have that deck, and I have the Army Ants deck that you guys made me before I left, and then I have the Eminatu Commander deck
Yeah.
and Orzhov Commander deck as well, which I've been trying to teach people Magic with those 2 Commander decks off and on whenever they come by. So
That's so sick.
What are those? Who makes the beginner decks, Tyler, that you can like buy the pre-constructed ones that they made themselves?
That is Card Kingdom.
Card Kingdom, that's it.
Yes,
Yeah,
Card
they're
Kingdom
pretty
has-
cheap even, and like those are kind of nice for teaching.
Yeah, I think they're like $10, or you can buy like a set of them for like $50, and it comes with like 6 decks or something.
Right.
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
like
neat.
super cheap. They're great. But you mentioned Army Ants, and that brings me to like one of the big things that kind of keeps our group together too. Is like I said, like we never really got into like serious constructed formats, at least as a play group. We kind of stayed like to the obscure outside of I guess casual formats.
Yeah.
And the first one that
Yeah.
we got into as a group that I remember everybody being like, "Yep, on board, let's fucking do this," was Pauper Command. And I would venture to say there are zero, no, I wouldn't say zero. There is maybe like 1 or 2 people who've listened who have ever heard of Pauper Commander, let alone played Pauper Commander.
Well, we even
Well,
refined it more now too with Wood Nickel.
Yes, let's talk about Pauper Commander first, because that one is like that one is the hidden gem of our play group.
That's true.
So Rupert, you are the guru on everything common. Give us a breakdown of what Pauper Commander is.
It's 100-card singleton format. You have a creature, doesn't have to be legendary, printed at uncommon at any point as your commander. 99 other cards printed at common at other point. And then, I mean, banned is like within your play group. Who gives a shit? The decks are like $3. I mean, not necessarily. You could drop Aristic Study before. I don't know what the reprint has it down to, but like you can make an expensive ass Pauper Commander deck, but you could also obviously make a dirt cheap Pauper Commander deck and play cards that you'd never see play and add flavor that you would never taste. And it's just a really fun format. I like it a lot.
That is the one thing about Pauper Commander that I found so appealing. Almost like 40% of the decks are cards that I literally have never played before, putting them in those decks.
Like I play such niche formats, I only look at cards for my 2 formats, which are budget. Like if it's not a common card, I'm probably not too concerned about it. Like everyone else bases value on like actual value. Like I see some new fucking mythic or a planeswalker that's like, oh, this is gonna break some formats, and I'm like, it's not gonna break my fucking formats.
No, you don't give a shit. You see something like,
Oh, except for Mystic Sanctuary. To be fair, that's pretty recent.
yeah, fuck Mystic Sanctuary. That card sucks.
But also,
But you
it
see
got
something
fucked,
like that,
so.
and that gets you more stoked than like the Ugin reprint in Corset 2021.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
kind of
100%.
in the same boat there. That the only time I play Magic really is with you guys. And Pauper Commander made sense. I remember Roop having like a little turntable like you put in
It
the
was
middle
a
of the kitchen
Pabst Blue
table.
Ribbon. It was
Yeah.
a Pabst Blue
A
Ribbon
Lazy
like
Susan.
bar
The Lazy
holder on a
yes.
Lazy Susan.
And he had
And
like
it held
all
like
5
10
flavors.
poppers.
Yeah.
Oh, there was 10 in at least in there at one point. There was like a Goblin Tribal, Elves Tribal. What's that Esper artifact thing? It looks like a spider almost.
Oh
It
shit.
pings.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called.
I don't either.
Again,
But there was
you're
that. Kitchen
supposed to know
Finks
the
was
shitty
in there.
cards.
Miss Meadow Witch was in there. Demir, the first Demir Guild
Guild.
Mage from OG, where you like make someone discard or draw. I think it did. And then before Crackling Drake, which is OP as fuck, there was what's the goat?
one
What's
Theros.
the goat? The Chimera, whatever the
Yeah.
Chimera was with Trample X3. Yeah, those things are really cool in one-on-one. But it's just about like having fun with your play group.
And the best part about that was like we could show up with just maybe the 3 of us or up to like 6 people, and we could just try a new deck out every day because he had the whole rotation there, and then we could also bring our own. So it was really fun. You get to try out new play styles. You get to see new flavors of tribes of creatures and stuff like that. So it was just a really good time.
I would say the first time that I ever took elves seriously was with Rupert, spinning the Lazy Susan, getting elves, and being like, oh, fuck, let's try this out. And then I opened up the deck, like fanned through it quickly, then drew my opening 7, and was just like, oh, I can get down with this. And just fucking
that deck
stormed
slapped.
off.
I'm trying to think of the
Was it Priest of Titania?
No, I will look into it right now. Keep going.
Yeah, Pauper Commander was just so sick. And there is surprisingly a wide array of things that you can do with that format, too. You wouldn't think that only being able to choose from uncommon creatures that you'd really have that many options. But the fact that they don't have to be legendary just opens up so many doors. Like the deck that I actually still have built in play is just some janky, like blue-white bounce deck.
Oh, I love that deck.
Yeah, it is. I have the commander right here.
Also, Imperious Perfect was the commander I ran. That card is so up. Mono Green's not so hot in Pauper Commander, but if you're there just to have a good time and pop out a bunch of elves, it really does work.
Yes. Oh, I have a Zorius Aether Mage is my commander for Pauper Commander. 1 white blue for a 1/1 human wizard, and then whenever a permanent is returned to your hand, you may pay 1. If you do, draw a card. And the entire deck is just built around drawing
and
as
bouncing.
many cards as I possibly can while bouncing my own awful creature.
It's so much fun. And then, what is it, Ethereal? Not Ethereal.
Oh, the enchantment.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
Whatever.
talking about my win condition.
correct. The only win condition, really.
Imperial Armor.
Imperial Armor, that's it,
Yeah.
not Ethereal Armor.
Yeah, 1 white, enchanted creature gets +X, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Yep, put it on something with flying, bounce your opponent's shit, bounce your own shit.
Yeah, what do you
So,
know
yeah.
about putting that on a Sky Scanner and getting it?
Yeah, Sky Scanner slaps, bro.
Especially when you bounce it. I've never been so happy to pay like 3 mana to draw a card, and then bounce that thing and pay a mana, which is like 4 mana on average, to just draw another card, and then end up having to discard because there's nothing in the format that lets you have no maximum hand size.
Wait, yes there is. You can play Thought Vessel. Comment on point, was it not?
Oh, is it?
I was pretty sure that
Well, then I built my deck incorrectly.
there are definitely things. I think even Reliquary Tower's been printed a comment at this point.
Oh, maybe this deck is so old that was not.
Oh yeah, Thought Vessels.
All right, BRB ordering 1 Thought Vessel for this deck that I only get to play with you guys.
You can play Library of Leng, 1-drop artifact.
Oh, that's
Have
right!
no maximum-
Library! Yeah, fuck yeah, Library Line is so sick. I
Oh,
get
yeah,
to
no
skip my
maximum
discard
hand.
phase. Sign me up!
1-drop library. There you go.
Yes. But yeah, Pauper Commander was like, that was one of the formats that made me really love casual Magic. Even though I was like super, super into like high level constructed, like going to GPs and events and like playing Modern, playing Limited. That was even before like I really got into Legacy, but playing just high level competitive formats. I would still always go back and love playing PopCom with you guys.
It's just too much fun.
It was great.
Too much diversity.
And it was great because like no one took it that seriously, and especially if you were using like Roop's catalog of decks, it wasn't like you had any skin in the game like of your deck doing well. So you didn't have to, and the cards are all pretty straightforward. So it was easy to drink or whatever and just have a good ass time while you're playing it.
Yeah,
Right,
because
there's not so much text on any common, and also the cool thing about having you guys not having skin in that game is I had all the skin in that game. So even when I lost, I won, and when my
Right.
decks won, I won. I didn't have to be playing. It was pretty awesome.
so you were always the winner, which feels nice.
Right.
And then when we lost, if the deck that we were playing lost, we're just like, well, that's because Rupert built the deck and he fucking sucks shit at building decks.
And I can just be like, the player sucked. The deck was fine.
Yeah, operator error.
Right.
Yeah, the difference between user error and then equipment error, which that's just a void in between there, which we just lived in happily. Fuck yeah, Pauper Commander was so sick. We need to start getting Pauper Commander back online.
The only reason we don't is because some commons are just so darn expensive on Moto for some reason.
Well, you
And
know what?
That's why
There are cards that are not expensive on Moto.
there's some that are under 5 cents or equal to 5 cents.
Wow, do you think there really are that many cards that fall into that criteria?
I love cards for a nickel, man.
Insane. It's honestly probably way more than people would.
Man, that's so crazy. Do you think we should make a format out of that concept?
Yeah, I do actually. I 100% do. Zach, do you think we should get in on this?
I think it might have been done recently, actually.
Oh,
I
what
do.
would they call that format?
Well, everything's under 5 cents, like you said. So some sort of currency that represents that would be my suggestion for a title.
Huh.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it's
I like
also
where you're going.
not a real nickel. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'd have to be
so-
like a fake, a fake version. Of,
Yeah, so
like,
it couldn't be made out of metal,
No, definitely not.
but it needs to still be like a tangible material, like
Correct.
plastic nickel.
Plastic
Yes.
can be pricey, man, and you can't really. I mean, it's not biodegradable. It's not really that good.
Oh, that's true.
Cardboard?
Bad for the environment.
Cardboard nickel, like a pog. It's almost like a smallish pog.
Oh, Pog for it.
Oh, but
Yeah,
Pog
let's play
nickel.
pog nickel. Y'all play PAWG nickel?
Pogger.
Pogs and
Poggers,
Hoonies.
yeah. Pogs and Woo.
Champ.
Poggers. Pog Champ nickel. Those are the top tier wooden nickel decks. How about that? How about wooden?
Wooden nickel. Oh, I kind of like the way that rolls off the tongue.
Wood nickel. Yeah, it sounds alright.
Yeah, wood or wooden nickel.
It depends
Just
on
wood.
how I'm describing it.
That's actually maybe relevant.
Well, let's say for the context of maybe the format that we've been beating around the bush describing,
Just wood.
let's just call it wood nickel.
That's
I
fine.
like that. Math checks out.
Yes,
Pronunciation checks out.
wood nickel. Maybe the greatest thing that we've ever done as a play group.
Also, that was a hell of a lead up to talking about.
We took the scenic route on that one, boys.
Yeah, we saw a sign that said path of most resistance. We're like, yep, sign me up.
Yeah, is there one that's farther than that one? Because we'll take that.
It's like when Gandalf is like, you want to take these eagles? And everybody else is like, nope. And then there's 3 movies. We chose 3 movies.
Yeah,
Yep.
we chose a 3 movie. Right? Yeah,
Right.
that's 100% what we did.
3 books. Or the fucking nerds want to look at
I can't read, so we'll do the movies.
it. Sounds good.
But fucking wood nickel, boys. The origins of this, it was kind of serendipitous. And I know we've talked about it a couple times on the podcast. Not we as in like the collective we, but we as in the royal we of me and Matt.
Because we haven't been on the podcast together at the same time.
Correct.
Me and Zach have been. Me and you have been. You and Zach have been, but not the 3 of us.
Collective we have talked about wood nickel on the podcast before, but I feel like now is the time having 3 founding fathers of the wooden nickel.
I just kind of got roped into it. I just gave the okay. I was like, yeah, it seems like a thing I could get behind with limited time and limited money. And
You're the John Hancock of wood nickel.
yeah, I just signed the thing. You guys did it. You're the drafters.
Yeah. Like Rupert's the Benjamin Button and I'm the John Franklin.
Oh, I love buttons. I love Benjamin Buttons.
I'd buy that for a wood nickel. Yeah, let's talk about this format because it is quite possibly the format, not that I deserved, but that I needed for the time that it came about.
Yeah, I mean, circumstances presented. We just had to be creative, I guess, under the news, which was distance and coronavirus.
Well, I think we started talking about it before Rona even came around. It was just, hey,
definitely.
it was just like, hey, we're in 3 different time zones. What can we do that's cheap and fun where we can still touch base and have a good time?
Yeah, the
Right.
origins of wood nickel came about when Rupert moved from Pennsylvania across the country to Denver,
Right.
and Zack, like a couple months prior, had moved from Pennsylvania to Florida.
But I'm like in the weird part of Florida that's Central Time,
Mm-hmm.
like right near Alabama.
Alabama.
Yep.
Florida Bama line.
Florida Bama line. God,
Floribama does exist. It is a
That's the
place.
thing.
they do exist.
I didn't think it was a real thing until I went and visited him on my way to Colorado, and I was like, this is miracle. This is the most redneck fucking sounding deliverance ass shit I've ever heard.
Yeehaw.
It's like Pennsylvania, but it's like somehow worse than Pennsylvania.
It's like if you picked up our hometown and put it at the.
I mean,
Just-
all things considered, that doesn't sound that bad.
Sounds like you're taking Bud Light and Camo to the beach.
That's exactly what happens.
Awesome.
You're saying Bud Light, and I'm giving Bud Light way too much credit with that. It's like Keystone Light down to the beach.
Extra gold, baby.
Oh, extra
gold
good.
and good for you.
Talk about the worst liquors in the entire world. That just gives some insight into how awful of a group of humans we are.
Anything above the bottom shelf is awful.
If it's not sitting on the floor,
Yep,
Sure.
in front, right in front of the shelf.
I want plastic bottle. I want it to say vodka, like it just came out of a really cheap TV show's pilot episode. And if it's even on sale, and the more dust on the top of the bottle, the better.
yeah, it's like aging. It
Right.
aged with time and love.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Just gave the potatoes more time to ferment.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, fucking wood nickel boys.
Oh yeah, we were talking about magic.
We've already kind of described it at this point. Everybody knows.
Yeah.
Wood nickel, it is just commander. So all of the commander rules apply as far as deck building goes,
Correct.
except for
And band list goes.
and ban list goes, yep. Except for every card in your deck, including your commander, needs to be on Magic Online under 0.05 tickets. So
or equal to. Or equal to.
yeah, or equal to. So a nickel or below on Magic Online in the currency of ticket.
Now, I was talking to Kev during the tournament, which we'll get into later, but I was like pitching wood nickel to him, and he was like, well, what happened if a card rose from like 5 to 8 cents? And I was like, well, if you knew why we're playing, it's not that big of a deal. But if a card would jump from like 5 cents to like 15, 20 cents, it's like, all right, you maybe
Even
find a
then.
substitute for that.
Yeah.
It's not like freaking anybody's like a trap, I don't think.
Nah.
No,
You
not
buy 'em at a nickel, like it's not illegal.
And that is kind of the mission statement of the format too. It's not about building a deck that is going to be like min-maxed or perfect in the slightest.
Oh no, it is not.
It's all
about
flavor. All
Building
flavor.
a deck, yeah, that will have a ton of flavor, be super fun to play with and super fun, or at least interesting to play against, because fun is subjective.
Yes, it very much so is, as I've learned playing different people on Moto that are not you guys.
Yep. Or
You
just
make
the
it-
decks that you have built.
Right, when you make a tag that says fun, people don't define it the same way that you do. Like if you're playing the decks that I do, people don't think that they're as fun as the decks that they're playing, maybe. I don't know. It's subjective.
Well, I think I've talked about a couple of my wood nickel decks on the podcast.
Yeah, you have like 30 or 40. I don't know if there's like 1,000 options and you have half of them taken up.
Yeah, that is, I'm getting very close. I think I'm like 3 shy of half.
But seriously, there are like 1,600 or something commander options for this format. If you're just looking for like some $3 format to play with your homies, whenever. It's
And
so
that's
easy.
another good perk for the format. Like you guys didn't really play Magic Online before we started playing Wood Nickel.
Correct.
I already had a pretty extensive Magic Online collection from playing all of the constructive formats online. But to kind of even the keel, we just set this Wood Nickel constraint. Everybody started from square one, and all of our decks are pretty similar in power level.
Yeah, so like right now, I'm looking at my Bum and Sigs deck. It's blue-black, basically steal. The only win condition is that your opponent plays good cards and you can steal them. That's it. But to buy the whole deck in Moto is $2.14.
Which is perfect.
So super financially friendly.
Like
What other deck do you have? Oh, go on.
you make that in that little investment. First of all, if you're going onto like Card Hoarder, you have to spend $10. So you give them the $10 and you buy your deck, and then you get X amount of store credit after. That store credit just goes to building like 4 more decks.
Is that how you do it? I do it. I buy ticks.
Oh,
And
see, I just
trade
circumvent
ticks.
that. I just let them take my actual human dollars.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't know it was a thing.
You fucking.
You do it. I do that.
This is why I'm the
Yep.
expert with the podcast, boys.
I'm so humble. I smell the humble pie from fucking here. Zach, what other decks do you have? In format.
Well, that's the only deck that has anything but black involved in it because I'm a savage. But I have another one. So Bum and Sigs was the Demir deck. This one is called Bad Times at Innistrad High, and it is basically it's $1.43 for this deck. So big baller, and
Holy shit.
revolves around me sacrificing absolutely everything and generating a ton of small things. So it's basically, I create a bunch of tokens and creatures, and I sacrifice them all to do really cool stuff. I also have Tar Baby, or no, Bad Times at Tar Babies is that one. Because I use
the sacrifice deck.
Yeah, because I use breeding pool or breeding pit. I forget what it's called. Breeding
Yeah,
pit.
breeding pit. It's definitely not breeding pool. Breeding pool is not legal in the format.
No, it's not.
Basically, use breeding pit to generate thralls that I can sacrifice and do cool stuff. The Bad Times at Ridgemont High or Innistrad High is basically use Sir Conrad the Grim. When anything leaves the battlefield and is put into a graveyard or put into a graveyard from anywhere, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So it's basically black control. I don't really know what else to call it.
Yeah, it's like mono black discard.
And of course I have Smallpox in there because it's one of the best cards in Magic.
Well, that's just like what you live off too. Like you as a Magic player, like get your kicks from like playing like discard spells, removal spells, things that make people do things that they wouldn't want to do.
Yeah, I just like knowing what you think you're about to do and then not letting you. So if I was a Magic card, I would be Smallpox.
That's actually, pretty accurate.
But I don't even know your full deck list, Tyler. What all you have. I've only played against probably 4 or 5 of them.
What are your favorite 3-5? Who cares?
But
What's your favorite couple?
If we're going to go through,
I did 3, so I don't.
I will do 3 then. I will pick my 3 favorite nickels. My 3 shiniest nickels.
3 I was just going to say 3 softest.
Heavily polished wood discs.
3 polished.
Yeah, my 3 most polished nickels. I think the one that is the most fun to play is probably Una, Queen of the Fae. Or as Matt would say, Fae, Queen of the Una. Because he's dumb. Which is just a pretty much standard Una deck, but with cards that you wouldn't typically see in a Una deck. So I'm just playing... Yeah, because you don't have access to the real card. Which makes it, honestly, arguably more fun. Like, I get to play with Dreamborn Muse. I feel like people don't typically play that card.
Which one's Dreamborn Muse?
Dreamborn Muse is the one that, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player puts X cards from their library into their graveyard, where X is the number of cards in their hand.
Fair. All right, yeah.
Yeah, that one does some work. But then you also just get access to just some generically powerful cards, like Fraying Sanity, Psychic Corrosion, Sphinx's Tutelage. I get to play fucking Nemesis of Reason, which in paper, that card is like $15.
Yeah, it's cool getting it. It's cool on the reverse too, because a lot of cards are just so cheap on Moto. You get to play things that you get to play.
Yeah, like Lightning Greaves is a perfect example of that. Lightning Greaves,
right? But Swiftfoot Boots you cannot play.
Yeah, Lightning Greaves is like $6 in paper. Online, it's 5 cents.
4 cents. Yeah, 4 cents, 5 cents.
But the exact reciprocate of that is Swiftfoot. I also thoroughly enjoy playing Niv Mizzet deck, which is using Niv Mizzet the Firemind, and that card says that whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target. Turns out I'm going to draw some cards.
Right there, that math checks out.
Draw a bunch of cards and kill a bunch of either creatures or people.
Can I just say about the pricing that you were just talking about? I have a really good example. So in the Eye of Chaos, 2 colors and a blue, all instants, it's enchantment. All instants and interrupts are countered unless their caster pays an additional X, where X is the casting cost of that spell. In paper, $97.71. Online, 3 cents. So I would never be able to play that card.
In paper, never.
No, that's not even.
But because of the way it works, I get the chance to try stuff like that out.
That's the beauty of this format.
It's one of the beauties.
The other 2 on the podcast with.
Aww, that's so cute. You fucking nerd. But my third favorite, this one's actually probably just the best one that I built, which is also the most recent one, is Carador, Ghost Chieftain. It is white, black, green, and the whole entire concept is to put my entire library into my graveyard, cast Eerie Ultimatum, which brings basically everything back, including a bunch of demons, and then winning with Liliana's Contract, which says at the beginning of my upkeep, if I control 4 or more demons with different names, I win the game.
Yeah, that's fun. That is super fun.
Which that's a perfect example of a very, very powerful commander that a ton of people play. Like, Carador is a very, very popular commander. But normally people are returning Elish Norn and very powerful creatures with Carador's ability. This one, I'm just like, you know what? I think I want to bring back Pestilent Demon. Yeah, try that. Let's try that card.
Honestly, I can't imagine a world where people pay more than 5 cents to play a pixelated version of cardboard. That baffles me. What
That is a
weird
very
world
Matt
people
thing
live
to
in.
say, too. That is 100% Matt's whole mentality behind Magic Online.
I'm gonna have to agree with Matt and Rupert on that.
Yeah, but I can't play Legacy in paper all the time.
You
You're just not
can't.
trying. Well, you're just not trying hard enough.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
You know that one Pixar skit that starts out, I don't know what Disney movie it is, but it's the old man playing chess with himself. I think it's a Toy Story movie. You could just make a second Legacy deck and then just like go to the park and play yourself and get one of them disguises with the fake nose and mustache.
If I'm going to go to the park by myself,
Take
And
Birdseed
play?
too, because that sounds depressing as fuck.
no,
And a razor
gonna,
blade.
no, I'm going to go jerk off in the park.
Oh, okay, yeah, right on.
If I'm playing with myself in public,
Yeah, that's fair.
I would just make sure there's no kids around.
well, it's at the park, so like,
Well, it depends on the park.
I'll go to the skate park.
There you go.
And then
Actually,
jerk
there's a
off.
lot of kids in my.
Oh.
Don't go to the skate park yet. We're gonna rule out parks in general.
Okay, don't go to the park, especially if you go to the park, don't jerk off.
Those are pretty good rules.
Words to live by.
Yeah. If you're gonna jerk off at the park, at least social distance.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
I think that's a fair compromise, right?
If you're going to do that thing, at least wear a mask.
Yeah, wear a mask and 6.
Or like some super stretchy pants, so that way you don't even have to pull it out, right?
Hey.
I mean, it's been pretty hot recently, and then it's like a lot of motion. I wouldn't worry about it.
Fucking Christ. Okay, Rupert, what are your wood nickel decks?
Well, I started with I'm gonna kind of do 4, but I'm gonna move right into 3. I started with Alesha, which I realized white's stupid because I started playing Grenzo in a deck, and anytime I would play Grenzo and fire off anything with power 2 or less, it'd feel good. And so I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna play Grenzo instead. So I have a deck that's 35 lands and 65 creatures with power 2 or less. And so no matter how I play Grenzo, it hits. Or I hit a land, and that pisses me off. But usually I'm hitting creatures. And it's pretty badass, because a couple of games into playing this deck, I realized with the London Mulligan rule on Moto, to just mulligan. I want to be able to choose what's on the bottom of my graveyard, because if you're not familiar, I can put the bottom card of my library into my graveyard. If it's a creature with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it on the battlefield. Grenzo starts as a 2/2. If everything else is a 2 or less, bam, it's going on. So if I get to like choose my first 5 cards I get to play with Grenzo, he comes down as a 2-drop. I'm firing him off turn 3.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
It is an incredibly powerful thing when you can just hit your creature on turn 2
Right.
and then know for certain the next turn, as long as Grenzo stays alive, that you're gonna get like a 7-drop creature that just happens to be a 2/2.
Right. I could fall
On turn
into
3.
like Pont of a Blight turn 3.
Yeah, that's pretty okay.
You could be real stoked on getting your 3-drop commander out, and I could roll right into a duplicate turn 3. R-type of finality is a good thing to roll into. There's a lot of things that I could roll into. I'm just stoked to see what I get. It's just fun to kick back and be like, I have 8 mana up. It's like, I'm going to Grenzo 4 times. If all 4 of those fire off and I get 4 creatures on board from that, that's insane value.
You're turning 4 mana into 14 mana.
Right. It's so much fun.
Which is gross.
After that, I made Edric Spymaster of Trest, I think it is. Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't really care what he does. I just care that he's blue-green and that he says spy because flavor.
I didn't even put that together.
Double O Rupert.
Right. There's a lot of telepathy and just cards that don't specify players. So each other player, every player, all the opponents kind of thing, and barely even that. I kind of just like the communism aspect of the group hug. But there's also some messed up cards in this deck. What do we got in there?
Is
so Ice
good.
Cave, Shared Fate, Hive Mind, Forced Fruition. Forced Fruition's fun. Oh yeah, Zer's Weirding is insanity.
Fuck that card.
That
So
deck,
much fun.
That deck played in a 1v1v1 v1 with us, and because the other guy was milling, you group hugged me so hard in draws that you milled me more than the guy with the mill deck.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah,
Because I
we'll
had to
still-
discard
we'll
every
still do
time.
that. Oh
That
yeah, it's
feels
a
so
lot of fun. A lot of fun. I wanted to be less involved aggression-wise than Grenzo, and so I made this guy. And I was like, well, I got a group hug. I might as well make a group hug. So I took Celestial Kieran, and I also kind of wanted to make something Tyler loved and make him hate it. That was kind of the whole prospect here.
Yeah, so you picked a white spirit.
Right. And whenever you play a spirit or arcane, you destroy all permanents that spell's converted mana cost. So that's just a bunch of spirits and arcane spells to blow up the board all the time. And most fun, and I did get to do it for the very first time recently. You were not a part of this, but Zack was a part of this.
I hated it so much.
I got to Ugin's Conjuring. We were playing. I always do like to do the budget casual fun tag in Moto, and people don't like to listen to that, and it makes it unfun for me.
That is very true.
One guy, he was playing Pirate Ship, or was it Ghost Ship or Pirate Ship, Zack?
It was Ghost Ship. It was really awesome. He was playing along.
Dude, he was into the budget shit that we were doing. And then we have a guy, I don't even remember what he's playing, but it was definitely not anywhere near casual budget fun. And so we kind of tried to hit him off the board, and when I drew the Ugin's Conjurant, it's an X spirit, so it's a 0 drop as far as, or it's a 0 CMC as far as Kieran's concerned, and so it blew up all the lands. And then you just kind of start over from that with what's on board. And so that's a good time.
0 mana Armageddon seems pretty okay.
Yeah, big fan of that. But those are my 3. Those are my only 3. But they're a ton of fun. Honestly, it's making me want to play this format.
We might have to jump into a game after we record.
We'll see.
I'm sold.
I'm probably into that, actually. We were going to
Yeah, sounds about right.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
My favorite part about that whole conversation is Zack's decks are all very much his playstyle. He has 2 decks that are mono black. The third deck that he has is 50% black, and they all play the black role very differently, but they're all so black in their theme, in their flavor. And then on the other side of the wood nickel, you have Rupert's decks where all of them are so different. Grenzo is all about just powering, getting a really aggressive, cheating on mana, getting as many creatures on the battlefield as you possibly can. Edric is about making everybody draw a million cards and just completely shaping up the texture of the game. And the mono white spirits deck is just all about ruining what your opponent is doing. And that's
they're all gambles. Honestly, they're all just gambles. I like to kick back and watch how people interact with what's going on.
That is the overarching theme with your decks too. Zack is a very to the core black player, and you are a to the core very Johnny, just kind of build a deck that is kind of elaborate and then just see what happens kind of thing. And if you can somehow set up the combo, whatever the combo may be, where in that white deck it is having your commander and then playing the X spirit and Armageddoning. Right. Your deck is just set up that once you do that, you feel 100% accomplished.
Yep.
Yeah, that's his win. It's not like he has to mill you or take you to real life. It's I just ruined all the lands on turn 6. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, if I have one really condensed period of fun, one even turn where I just oh, this is going to be a riot. Whether it's dropping a few enchantments even in Edric, where it's Shared Fate and then just some other goofy shit, and just watching how the other 3 players at the table interact. That's the fun.
You just feel good at that point.
Oh, 100%. I feel great at that point.
And that is my favorite part about our play group. We have Zack, who is the kind of prototypical Timmy with a little bit of Orthos, shoved in there. Rupert is the very typical Johnny. Another guy that we normally play with, Austin, he is Spike to the fucking 10th degree. Our commander group is so diversely represented of all of the archetypes of player. That's what makes it so much fun to just get together and play with everybody.
And when you're involved too, I mean, you're just so familiar with the game and everything it encapsulates, I guess. So it's always diverse with you almost. You have your niches spirits and shit, but you'll see something that entices you. Cycling in standard kind of recently in Ikoria. It's not something that you typically do, but it enticed you and you're I'm into this.
Oh yeah.
And you'll do the same thing with your I think it's literally 15 plus wood nickel decks. It's there's always something different, tribal, or it's your demon thing. You just see a card and you're I'm just going to win with this one card, even though there's 100 of them.
Yeah, I think I could play all of the roles pretty evenly. Like I have the Carador deck, which is very much a spike deck. Like that deck is just I want to win the game. But then I have like Dapala, which is tribal vehicle.
Oh my god, I forgot about that deck.
That deck is awful. It is so bad. But when I get to do the thing, it feels so goddamn good. And then I have like Renata, which is just mono green, playing big idiots and just turning them sideways. That is such a Timmy deck. That might be the most Timmy deck I've ever built. But all of those decks just play so differently, which is one, a testament to how good this format is, and two, a testament to how cool the ability to just play Magic with such a diverse group is.
100%. And I don't think any of us are smart enough to break the format, nor do we care to take that time.
No, and the whole reason the whole reason I enjoy playing black is because I like seeing how people work under pressure that's not just creatures getting swung at them. So like if you don't have a hand, if you have a clock because of that, if you are sacrificing a creature every turn, if I'm able to steal your creatures, how are you going to respond? And it's just cool to see how other decks can recover from it or not.
Oh yeah, because some decks are totally fine with playing against some of your decks.
Yeah.
Like I would say there are maybe like 50% of my decks that are if I'm playing against your discard deck, I'm in an okay spot. Like I don't love it, but I don't hate it. But if I am ever just like, oh, I think I want to play my cycling deck, and if you're playing your discard deck, I can't do anything. I'm just dead on the spot. Like I want to try to play around it, but I just physically cannot do it.
Yeah, or if I'm playing Sig and you're playing Stompies, like you're just playing big creatures that I'm going to steal. And there's not really a lot you can do other than enchantment destruction that's going to stop it.
Yeah, like I'm going to play Gigantha, just big old dumb idiot creature, and you're going to be like, yeah, that one over there, that one's mine. And then the next turn you're just going to be like, I'm going to swing this at your head. And I'm going to be like, cool, I am dead.
Right. So it's cool, especially with the limited format parameters of the 5-cent thing, to see how cards that you don't get to see played a lot at all respond to having a limited hand or having a limited board presence.
Yeah, 100%.
Also, kind of opposite to what I was saying before about when people come in there without budget decks. It's kind of cool to see how your budget deck racks up and goes toe to toe with not budget decks when those people enter the same games in Moto.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes your deck performs a lot better than you think it does. Like my Granzo does my other decks are way just for fun, but Granzo takes the fuck off. It'll ruin some top tier decks sometimes if I get in the right games.
Oh, dude, the first time I took a wood nickel deck into just a random game of 3 other commander players, and they were all playing real decks, and I'm like, I'm playing with nickels, haha! And then I won that game. That feeling is better than any drug. Like, sign me up. I will do that over and over and over.
I don't know if I can attest to all of that sentiment, but I feel you.
What, you just can't you can't relate to the winning the games part.
Correct. That is exactly what I was talking about. So, I don't think we got anything else on wood nickel.
I have selling Kev on wood nickel, which he said he's going to do.
Ooh, and hopefully Corey gets into it and starts playing with us too. Shout out to Corey.
Again, this is the part of the podcast where we do the call to action, where not just Corey, not just Kev, literally anybody out there who wants to be a part of Wood Nickel.
Anyone out there in the Matrix, in the internet, like where Timmy Turner goes in that one Fairly Odd Parents episode, like that internet, wherever Matthew McConaughey goes,
Chalk
in
Zone,
Interstellar, Chalk Zone, the people in the Chalk Zone, the people wherever Danny Phantom goes when he goes ghost.
Narnia.
Right. When he goes through the wardrobe and goes through Pan's Labyrinth and then ends up in Mordor.
Yeah, and there's that big dragon thing that they ride.
Correct. From Neverending
Story. Yeah, nailed
Correct. It. Yeah, Clifford.
Yeah,
the winged Clifford, yeah.
No, I hope that they are sold on it. Join the freaking Discord and find people that'll play it.
The Wood Nickel gang. You can reach out to me on Twitter. That's @BasicLandBit. Or you could just shoot me a DM at the Fetch and Shock Twitter.
Yeah,
which is
lube up and slide into Tyler's DM.
Yeah, just slide into them DMs and join the Wood Nickel gang, because I feel like a lot of people right now, especially after the past couple months with the changes that have happened in Magic, some of the cards that have been released that have kind of ruined a couple formats, some of the questionable ban and restricted announcements that have happened in Magic, some people just need a shakeup. so magic doesn't get stale or boring. And wood nickel is 100% the shakeup that I personally needed to kind of keep things fresh.
It's like Brink. Speaking of Brink,
It's like Brink, that movie that aged really well.
yeah. So wood nickel's like the soul skater of.
Yeah, it's not gonna sell out the Team
Like
X blades.
Yeah, we are not the Team X blades.
Modern.
But yeah, it's great.
I hope there's at least 2 people out there who get the Brink references.
Oh, guaranteed. There's gonna be
Brinkerson.
Like,
Yeah, Brink McBrinkerson.
well, honestly, how many more people then? Like, Matt's not gonna listen to this. Like, he's about to have a kid, and he's not gonna give a shit. Like, he's not on it. So, like, me and Zach listen to it sometimes. You have to listen to it. Is there anybody else that's even gonna listen to this?
Maybe like 3 people.
If you preface it with it's just me and Rupert talking, it's gonna go down from there.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we're gonna ease that one in. Everybody who is listening at this point had just been completely hoodwinked.
Yeah, they're in for the long haul now.
DMK.
Like, people stay for Matt anyway.
Oh yeah, duh.
They come for the loud introduction and they stay for Matt.
Yeah, and they stay for shitty quality microphones.
Also, how is it that this is the only episode of the Fashion Shock podcast with good audio quality so far?
Because, like we said, Matt's not here.
Yeah, that math checks out. That math checks out.
Zach, so you play some Commander Modern. You didn't get into Popper with us at all.
Like the actual popper format?
Yeah, actual Popper.
No.
Or not that we like got into it competitively or anything, but like before I left for Colorado, we dabbled casually.
Well, there was like that year, almost a full year of me going through a bunch of trainings and moving around the country a lot. So I didn't really have a ton of time to do anything.
Partying with Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, shooting guns and fireworks.
Right.
Spending that government cheese.
Starring Americano Carl's Jr. Badass, dude. Flying the jets.
Fucking yeehaw, boys.
Someone's got to do it, man.
It's a tough job. I get it.
Kind of like organizing a tournament.
Oh, god damn it. What a segue.
Damn.
Yeah, this is another way that we have kind of been able to stay connected. One of them is obviously wood nickel, and that is obviously played on Magic Online. But because we have the ability to play paper Magic through our webcams or our smartphones, all of us got together and we all participated in the Fetch and Chuck post-release pre-release. And like, me and Matt are obviously talked about this, but I want to hear your guys' take on how the Fetch and Chuck post pre-release.
I had a great time. It was kind of last minute as far as me getting on board. But I threw it together in like, I don't know, a couple hours. I went to a couple different stores, tried to find a webcam, failed because everyone's, cam girling right now. And so I had to figure out a way to use my phone and mount it and also find 6-packs that had some value oozing off of them. So I scouted those out and I put one of my chairs in my dining room on the table, put a 24-inch fish measuring stick on the chair, a 30-pound weight on the fish stick and on the chair, so it hung over the the stick hung over the edge, and then used the like dad belt buckle clips for the iPhone, like the hard plastic ones, and then I put my phone in there and clipped it upside down on the fish stick hanging over the edge of the chair, over top of the playmat. So I bought the packs, threw that together, and there were some technical issues, but they were small, and otherwise everything went really smoothly. For me, on my end anyway.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, impressively
And Rupert,
smooth.
you put a little bit more time and effort into your construction.
But it doesn't hold a candle to Zach's ingenuity. Like, his description isn't doing the picture justice. It looks incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it was very good for the time that it took to throw together.
Absolutely. It was so good.
Very good.
Like,
Yes.
you sent me that picture, and if you want to see the picture, you can go to the Fashion Shock Discord in the event info section. If you are trying to get in the Fashion Shock Discord, you can find that link on our Twitter or in the description of this episode, by the way. But yeah, just seeing people's setups, like specifically your 2 setups in that Discord chat, got me so hyped. It was so good just seeing like Zach's just rigged up somehow together mess up a construction that worked perfectly, and then Rupert's like meticulously measured out and like set up, and like he had everything like all laid out. He had the dice on the side. of his wooden frame that he
Well,
built.
and his camera was so good, you could like read the cards from the playmat.
Yeah, Rupert, your setup. Go ahead, just explain your setup briefly.
Okay, well, I tried to find a webcam online, and it didn't work. And then, surprisingly enough, Walmart's freaking gaming section sometimes comes in clutch. Like, the Razer stuff is, like, sometimes discounted because people don't think to buy it there, I guess. Like, I got my freaking speakers. They're super cheap, and the Razer brand, they're super freaking nice. And so this Razer Kio, whatever, our webcam was on sale at Walmart, so I saw it and picked it up. And it was, like, a little bit pricier, but I was like, maybe it'll be all right. And yeah, everybody said it was really nice quality, so that feels justified. And then I gave Jeff Bezos some money for like this worm hook thing that held the webcam, but it didn't do that. So I shipped it back to Jeff Bezos, and right next to the UPS store where you can order Amazon packages is a Home Depot. So I went in there, I bought some wood, some like 1x1 furring strips, cut it down to size, like measured my playmat, and then just went like a little bit bigger than that. And then just made a box missing like one part so I can move my arms in and out of it. It's like 30 inches high. My webcam mounts facing downward right onto my playmat. And then it kind of gets the wooden frame. So like Tyler was saying, I set my dice up there because I'm also a fucking compulsive nerd. And so everything was like tidy and neat and looked cute. And I'm pretty stoked on it. I'm looking at it right now. And I'm trying to find other uses for it because it was a lot of fun to build. And it looks good from the top-down view. So... And it was cool playing in the tourney, and then me and Tyler just fired off a game trying to see how it all worked out right before the tournament, like a couple of days before the tournament. And so it's been fun messing with it.
Well, you can use that for future Fetch and Shock post-release, pre-releases, which we will most certainly be doing, considering that this one went so smoothly and was so much fun.
Maybe we should just start jumping into the next one. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like the Jump Start one?
Oh, well, what? That's so weird.
Yeah, weird that we're going to jump into Jumpstart. Yeah, we are 1,000% running it back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do a Fetch and Shock post-release, pre-release for Jumpstart.
Before this one, a shout out to Adam, Kevin, and Getz, who all also participated, and were all super nice and super fun.
Yeah, it was one of the best parts of the tournament was getting to meet like people that, I normally wouldn't get the chance to meet. Just some of and like kind of going over how we knew everyone else involved and just kind of hearing everyone's background and just meeting people within the Magic and Fetch and Shock community. Yeah, it was just good spirited, like all around. Like obviously there weren't prizes, so it was just like there to have a good time. And then we used Spell Table. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, which was I think you shouted it out recently.
Oh yeah, we've talked about Spell Table a good handful of times, but it can never be understated that website is so good.
Very clutch.
I don't remember who even mentioned it, but was like thoroughly impressed with it. If not one person that we played with between Adam Getz and Kevin, then like multiples of them. But yeah, definitely impressed on my end. Like it was really nice. We just like kind of talked in the Discord, had everybody but who we were playing muted, and then when our game was done, unmuted each other, and then whatever website you used to keep score was also really
MTG
convenient.
Events is what I guess.
Yes, super simple interface, kept track just fine.
Yeah, and everybody had access to it so they could see the thing, so I didn't have to just continually post stuff in the Discord.
Right.
Yeah, technology is crazy and turns out worked really well.
Yeah, and you can even like submit your results from there per team. So it's like getting handed this slip of paper at an actual event. Like it's kind of neat.
Yeah, it kind of gave you that like throwback flavor of being at an event and doing that, because I know there's a ton of people that don't have that luxury to be able to do that.
Right. The only thing that is weird, I will say, keeping track of like life totals was interesting here and there, but you get used to it. Just like keeping track of like blockers and things like that was a little bit interesting, and there's a curve there.
There's a slight learning curve.
But still, I mean, not too intense to get used to by any means. Super fluid. Impressively good first try.
If you have the ability to play Magic, you have the ability to figure that stuff out very quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, I came into it like not knowing what the websites were, what sort of setup I needed, what packs I needed, and within like probably 3 hours, I had everything up and running with a little bit of help from you guys, but not a ton.
Yeah, so, like you asked for one of our help like before it was like getting set up, and don't even think you were just like, am I on the right website? Yep. Okay. And then you pretty much figured it out from there.
Yep.
Like
it's very user friendly.
Yeah. So if you are interested in playing with these two idiots and also me, the third idiot, please go to the Fetch and Shock Discord. You know where to find it. And we'll be doing the Jumpstart post-release, pre-release at a not yet determined date and time, but we are going to do it so that you just get 2 packs of Jumpstart. We'll jump in to the event. Everybody will open their packs, shuffle up, and then we'll figure out the pairings from there.
Right on.
I
We're
wish
talking about what decks we played in the
than that.
tournament?
Oh yeah, why don't you guys just go ahead and go over kind of your generic archetypes of what you played?
I did blue-white flyers because my very first pull was Baneslayer Angel. And I was like, well, gotta force this. And then I had 5 lukewarm, like equally lukewarm colors. So I just stuck to the tried and true blue-white flyers, went 2-1, which 4 of us did.
Yep.
Out of the 6, which is pretty fun. But yeah, just I forget all the Acolyte. It's pretty good. That comes like the 2/3 with lifelink. It's pretty. Sorry, Acolyte's a good card in that deck.
Yo, yeah.
The things with prowess, and I didn't really get any removal on white blue and I didn't want to play counters because that's boring. So I played the 3 blue. You control enchanted tapped creature.
Yeah, you get to control magic a creature, but you can only target a tapped creature.
Right, as long as you target it while it's tapped. Like if they untap it, like during with some cantrip, it doesn't matter. You target it. I think that's. But yeah, I played 2 of those. And it was a good time. Zach, what about yourself?
I made a joke before I even opened my packs that I was going to force black.
Because that's you.
Yep.
Right. But I ended up going pretty heavily black. The other color was green.
Curveball.
I kind of got not necessarily forced into it, but pretty easily talked into it by the pulls that I got. I had Kaervek, the Spiteful, 4-drop, 3/2. Other creatures get -1/-1. So then the rest of my creatures were all 2 toughness at least, which was kind of part of the plan there. I got Jolrael, 2-drop, 1/2. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you get a cat token. So I used a lot of that, and then a discard was pretty heavy in here. Surprise, and
Massacre Worm didn't hurt.
yeah. Also, I pulled a borderless Massacre Worm, which I got it in there one game, and then Rupert stole it from me and had a bad time.
with aforementioned control magic on a tapped creature.
Right. Not only that, he also stole, what was that? Big Spirit, 8/6.
Oh, Gloomsayer.
Yeah, he stole that from me too and swung at me. So that was a really good time.
That was a really good time. Thank you for reminding me.
You're so welcome. And then I had I had Demonic Embrace as well, which I was like, oh, this gives it flying and 3/3/1. That's sick. But then Rupert has Baneslayer Angel, so it has Pro Demon, which this card also makes it. So terrible matchup. Pretty cool deck concept. I just one of the games, mana was a huge issue. I didn't have the card draw I was expecting to get through it. But it was still fun, and I got to see some of the cool alternate artwork on like Liliana Stewart and some of the lands. So yeah, played Golgari, went 0-3, but still had a good time.
That's all it matters.
You placed.
Yes, sir.
You did. Yeah, showing up gives you a place. And, there's no prizes. So you are actually the big winner of that event.
Yeah, you won as much as the first player did.
Mm-hmm.
Feels good.
Last is a place. I will say that. So what deck did you run, Tyler?
I played a lovely little number that was a black-white kind of flyers. The tried and true black-white flyers archetype that everybody knows about.
Naturally.
And I did a little bit of a green splash because I didn't have enough playables in my pool for an actual good deck. So yeah, it was just a bunch of white and a little bit of black flyers, a good amount of black removal, some black top end, and then the green card that I was splashing for was it Primal Urge? The green X.
Oh, my card. That card is so good. Limited.
Yeah,
it's
the rare
insanity.
that gives your creature +X/+X and it fights something. That was my green splash.
Does it give it trample too? Or just fight?
It just fights.
Okay. Oh,
But-
it just fights.
But typically, it gives a +X/+S and fights.
I know. It's
you know
just
what's
funny.
fun
That card's so
about that?
bonkers.
Is putting it on a flyer and then killing the thing that can block a flyer and then attacking over everything else for a lot.
Right, like that 1/3 spider with reach. That thing's lane that gets +2/+0 and it blocks something with flying. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it's good to eat. Very good to eat.
Things with prowess you're worried about. What's that? 2/2 flying prowess for 3.
The Mystic's Siren.
Yeah, whatever it is. Sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my deck was super fun. Again, pulled the classic 2/1, which almost everybody did.
Yeah, a ton of fun. I played Zack first, and then Adam, and then Getz, and then it was just all 3 games, or all 3 rounds rather, were a ton of. Sadly, did not get to play Tyler nor Kevin.
But you'll get to play them on the next Fashion Shock post-release, pre-release. So
I hope so. I'm gonna have to start looking into Jumpstart. Honestly, the set's intriguing, and I've dabbled into it. I just know that it's mostly reprints, but some of those newer cards are pretty cool. I'll get into it and ship, but definitely some neat ones.
I looked at the set for purposes of podcasting.
Right.
Have not looked at it since, and I'm probably going to go dry into the post-release, pre-release, kind of like I did for this past one, where I just didn't do a sealed or a pre-release because I wanted to keep it just for that event.
You drafted it on Moto a little bit.
Oh, I drafted it a ton.
Or not on Moto, but Arena, rather.
On Arena. But that's not sealed. It's different, you see.
True,
So,
that's true. That's very different.
I think for Jumpstart, I'm gonna have to like look at the cards ahead of time to know what's in the set, make my draft or make my sealed pool building
here's
a
the
little
thing.
easier.
That matters a lot less because with Jumpstart, you're just getting 2 packs and shuffling them together. So what you get is what you get.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's more my speed.
Yeah, so it just doesn't matter.
The only thing that would help with familiarizing yourself with, it's like, also there's a lot of freaking cards to familiarize yourself with, so God luck and good speed. But if you do that, with like, sometimes the quality changes with this, the way that we have to play right now, and
True.
Making it easier to not have to reference cards because you can make out like the Rorschach test that is a blotch.
Right.
Gloomsayer, like you can barely make out a Gloomsayer and you're like, okay, I know that that's an 8/6 that does some 2 shit.
Yeah, you don't have to read the cards. You just notice the picture, which is what I always do because I can't.
Right. Which makes things way easier.
Mhm.
But going in blind's fun too.
Seeing the picture explains the cards.
Right.
Hell yeah. Well, boys, is there anything else Magic related that you guys want to get into?
Actually, yeah, probably.
Rupert's pulling out his notebook.
I got one. I do want to go over my arena experience.
Oh yeah, I would love to hear about this because I was actually a part of it.
Yeah, you were very much so a part of it.
Now that you have taken time to kind of reflect
Right.
on the experience,
I reflect as I
hear
sit
you.
next. I will foreshadow this story with that. I no longer have Arena on my computer. I do have Moto to play with the boys, so I can crack packs with the boys. But yeah, no Arena. I was like, we're having this little tournament thing. I want to familiarize with myself with the set. I used to play a little Arena. We'll try it again. So I download it. I'm like, Tyler, you play this a whole bunch, and you're a better Magic player than me. Help me draft this. And he's like, I can definitely do that. I'm into that. So we got on Discord. I screen shared, and then we're both on the mic, and he's talking me through it. Like half the time, we're picking like the same. Like I'm picking the card in my head that he's picking.
yeah.
But he's basically in the driver's seat. First game, that's the one that we went 7-0 with like a black-green deck, right?
A very good black green. Yeah, we went 0-3 very quickly. With
That was the one. Yeah, I had to walk away for a second.
Yeah, we had to decompress after that.
Yeah,
we did have one game where we drew our entire deck, and the last 7 cards of our deck were all spells, but everything before that was every single land that we had in our deck.
Correct. The first game, I drew 15 of my 17 lands. The third game, I drew 17 of my 17 lands. And then the second game, I don't remember how I lost it, but the only game I did win, I did go 1-3. The only game I did win, I don't remember what you called it, but it was blatant that I was going to win, and the person just let all of his timeouts run out. So he was just kind of being a
Oh yeah, they roped us.
Roped us. There you go.
Yeah, toss some ropes.
Yes, it felt like I got a couple of ropes tossed my way. Having to wait for that, and I was not a fan. So, yeah, that was rage-induced, because even Tyler admitted, he was like, yeah, I never seen anyone with really such bad luck on Arena. So I thought about that sentiment, I was like, well, that can't happen again. And it did not. But without Tyler gradually being in the driver's seat less and less, and in the passenger seat, and the passenger seat less and less, through about 6 to 7 drafts that I did, I feel like I figured out that I'm not good at this. I don't like misplaying with technology, and if I'm not playing with people that I know, I take it too seriously. So I stopped, and now here we are.
That is a very healthy way to look at it,
Yeah.
because one, the technology is an actual barrier. Like
Right.
you
Going back
did,
to Moto, learning
you did
from
playing.
progress.
Like the auto tapper kind of screwed you sometimes, and like there were some plays that were made that were 100% the client was responsible, not you. That was the technology error, not used.
And just not being as familiar with the interface makes it harder to use that. So there was that curve involved, but I'm good on that. Which did bring me and I've only dabbled in this thought, but kind of going off of our budget casual formats, dabbling in standard popper is potentially something else to throw in the mix of budget formats that we do.
You did mention this. We did spend a good portion of this podcast talking about the obscure formats that we do play.
Right, so why not just add to it?
A good way to kind of
Magic
put a little
Obscurica? What's that, Matt?
Obscure Sports Quarterly.
ESPN 8 the Ocho.
Right. MTG8 the Ocho.
Yeah, just a nice little bookend for us talking about obscure formats. Let's introduce another one that we haven't started playing yet.
Yeah, might as well. So everything had to be common and standard. If it's uncommon and standard and it's common out of standard in a reprint, doesn't matter. Has to be common and standard. That's where our power level's based, so might as well. But yeah, I just love commons, so doing anything new with commons is a lot of fun, and not spending a lot of money on pixelated cardboard is also a lot of fun, and having fun with the boys is also a lot of fun. But deck building, big time.
I cannot wait to play this format and just play like just all of the mono white cards in standard that I love that are not good enough to play in actual formats, and
that's the
just
fun
turn
of
into
Hopper.
little idiot sideways. I cannot wait. I'm really genuinely excited about starting this weird little niche format.
Right, and I mean, like, it's not going to take long to build a deck. Like, you only have so many options, and you can pass through most vanilla cards, which doesn't leave a lot in common standard pools. So you can, like, definitely do, like, a red deck wins. There's definitely some prowess potential. There's always stompy potential. I was definitely looking into it a little bit. What was the tribal I don't remember the tribal I was looking into, but there's definitely some cute ones that you could fuck with.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, just a ton of fun. Oh, elementals, because all that shit's still in standard.
Yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, for at least a little bit. So you could do a couple of those things, which I fancy the off-beaten path tribal.
And I'm sure that when we eventually start this whole thing, we're going to be posting about deck lists in the Discord. So if you're interested in
100%.
kind of dabbling with that, again, another plug, Fetch and Shock Discord, go on there and join in.
You're plugging left and right today, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I gotta represent the brand.
Tyler the plug.
Yo, I'm the plug. All right, fellas. Well, is that all we got for Magic stuff?
I believe
Yeah,
so.
shout out to Ultimate Chicken Horse. Just play that game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
if you wanna
Ultimate
play with
Chicken
us,
Horse,
Same
and then,
same thing. Shout out number 4 Discord. Play with us in the Discord. It's cool.
Yeah, everything about that.
The end. Ultimate Chicken Horse rules.
Yeah,
Go.
shout, but boys, I know
boys?
normally in our episode we throw in an MTG top 5 with me and Matt. We're going to forego that this week, and we're going to jump straight into our game. This game, however, is not accumulated knowledge.
No, it's not.
I actually don't have a name for this game.
What you got on the spot, Mr. Creative?
It is something completely new that is just I built just specifically for this episode for these two idiots to try to battle it out.
Oh, it's that new.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot wait for
Oh, you know what we'll call it? I'm going to call this game Frantic Inventory, which is
Oh,
just
that's
the
awesome.
functional reprint of accumulated knowledge.
That's amazing.
Yep. So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our new game, Frantic Inventory. In this game, I have curated 3 different questions, I guess we'll call them. And in these questions, I am going to ask these lovely individuals 3 different cards. They have to pick out the card that doesn't belong in this list of 3. And if they get it right, they get a point. And if they don't, they are a stupid idiot and they never get to play Wood Nickel ever again. Now, at the end of this, whoever has the most points wins. And if it's tied, we're going to do a single round of accumulated knowledge. First one to get a card wins. You guys get one answer and we'll go until there's a winner.
Perfect.
So the way that I did these lists is I did one list that I think Zack is favored, one list that I think Rupert is favored with, and one list that I'm favored with.
How's that helping us if you're asking the questions?
Oh, it's not. That's the point. So who wants to go first and what person's preferential list should...
Oh, I'll go first.
Okay, Rupert, you go first.
Are all 3 of us going, or are both of us going through all 3 lists?
We'll go back and forth.
Okay. I want Zach's list to go first, so I'll go first, but Zach's list is going first.
So Rupert is first using Zach's topic. So this topic, Rupert,
So that means Zach gets to do it too.
he's going to get to do it after you.
Okay, I got you. Just being 100% clear.
So the first category in Frantic Inventory, Rupert, I'm going to give you 3 cards. 2 of them are discard cards. 1 of them is not.
Okay.
Are you ready for your 3?
Yes.
The first one is Mind Knives. The second one is Mind Warp. The third one is Mind Swipe.
Swiper, no swipey. I want to say Mind Warp
Is
my final
not
answer.
the discard card.
It's not the discard card. Mind Warp is not a discard.
That is your final answer.
Correct.
Rupert, Mind Swipe is not a discard card.
That's bullshit. What do these cards do?
Mind
What does
Swipe,
Mind Swipe do?
Mind Swipe is X, a blue, and a red for an instant speed spell. It says counter target spell unless its controller plays X. Mind Swipe deals X damage to that player's controller. This is a rare from Khans of Tarkir.
Awesome. You said rare, and I was like, don't even waste your time. Don't tell me.
It's too rich for my blood.
Yep.
All right, Zach, are you ready for your list of,
Yeah, man.
of 3 potential discard cards? 2 of them are actual discard cards. 1 of them is an imposter.
Lay it on me, daddy.
One of them is Cheaty Face.
Oh, that'd have been too easy. So we have Sickening Dreams, Shattered Dreams, and Insidious Dreams.
I love it.
Can I get a reread?
Yeah, of course. Sickening Dreams is the first one. Shattered Dreams is the second one. And Insidious Dreams is the third one.
I don't think Sickening Dreams is a discard card.
Is that your final answer,
Yes.
Zach?
What's up?
Insidious Dreams is not a discard card.
Ah, come on.
We're so good at frantic
So-
inventory.
Sickening Dream, 1 and a black, an additional cost to this spell. You discard X cards, and then Sickening Dreams deals X damage to each creature. So you discard the cards.
Oh, that's stupid. I would never use
Now, Rupert,
Yes, sir.
this one is specifically for you.
I'm ready.
One of these 3 cards is not a common.
Perfect.
The rest of them are. Yours are Tar Pit Warrior, Hollow Warrior, or Warrior's Honor.
Fucking, I won't. All right, there was Tar Pit Warrior, Warrior's Honor. What was the third one?
Hollow
I'm
Warrior.
gonna go Hollow Warrior, not the common.
Rupert is.
I lied. No, that's not my final answer.
Ooh,
Regis, was it Regis? I'm gonna say Warrior's Honor, not a common.
Warrior's Honor, you think, is not a common card in Magic the Gathering.
I'm taking my gut instinct and I'm saying fuck you.
Well,
I'm
if you would have
going
taken your
Warrior's
gut
Honor.
instinct, you probably would have been right because Hollow Warrior is not a common.
Get got.
Don't even read another question. I brought so much shame to my life.
Hollow Warrior is an uncommon
Of course
from
it is.
Prophecy.
Oh my god.
It is a 4-mana 4/4 for a creature artifact creature golem. Hollow Warrior can't attack or block unless you tap an untapped creature you control.
What a shitty card.
It's not very good, no.
No, it's horrible.
I've seen better.
So you guys are both
Oh my god.
batting.
All right, Zach. Give Zach a freaking question. We're terrible. This is a really good game, though. I like this.
Now, Zach,
Good job,
are you
Tyler.
ready? I
Uh.
have a list of 3 cards. 2 of them are commons. 1 of them is not a common.
Yeah, man, send it.
Your 3 are Sunblade Elf, Defiant Elf, and Taunting Elf.
That's a lot of elves.
Oh, nuts.
Sunblade, Defiant, and Taunting Elves, huh?
All of those 3 are elves, but only 2 of them are common elves.
Sunblade sounds like it would fuck you up, so I'm gonna say that one is the not common card.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Zach, Sunblade Elves is an uncommon card from M15.
Oh.
From what set?
M15.
That's
Sunblade Elves gets a +1/+1 as long as you control a plains, and for 4 and a white, creatures you control get a +1/+1 to the end of turn. It is 1 green for a 1/1 Elf Warrior creature.
That's
also
pretty
not
good.
the worst card ever.
That's not a bad card.
A little
So
one.
currently, Zach, you are up 1 point.
I think that's
Hey.
forgotten by now.
Now, Rupert, here's your chance to catch up.
Let me
Here is your
yours.
category. 2 of these cards are white cards. 1 of them is not a white card.
Yep.
Your 3 cards are Aven Fleetwing, Aven Warhawk,
You're
and
such a cunt.
Aven Sentry.
Now hold on, before he answers it, Is it strictly white, or can it be white and something else?
There is no white mana symbols in one of these cards.
Okay, cool.
What was I'm gonna roll out Warhawk. What were the first two? It's probably that one. What were the first two?
Aven Fleetwing was the first one, and the other one is Aven Sentry.
Fucking Fleetwing. I'm going Fleetwing.
Is that your
Fleet
final answer?
Foxes. Avon Fleet Foxes.
Aven Fleet Foxes is correct. That card is blue.
I thought it might be. It was either blue or
1000%
fucking
is
white.
blue.
Sentry's such a super white thing, and so is that other stupid thing I rolled out. All right,
Warhawk.
Zach, freaking.
I thought Warhawk
Yeah.
was going to trip you up.
Warhawk
Yeah,
could have been red. Warhawk could have been red.
That's what I'm saying. That's
That would have been
that
War
was,
Pigs
that was
by
my
Black Sabbath.
Yeah, Aven Fleetwing is 3 and a blue for a 2/2 flying hexproof bird soldier.
Love a good bird soul.
I think
Yeah,
all
he's
of these
also
are bird
interested in bird law.
He's a bird person.
Now Zach,
Harvey Bird person, attorney at law.
attorney Ed Bird.
All right, Zach, don't get this one.
Okay.
Zach, this is for all the marbles. Also, this is my favorite list that I compiled.
Great.
Zach, 2 of these are white. 1 of them is decidedly not white. Your 3 cards are Northern Paladin, Southern Paladin, and Western Paladin.
Oh my god, that is the fucking best.
What? What? So
North, South, or West.
We.
They are all paladins, but only one of them isn't white.
okay, so there's 3 cards. 2
Mhm.
of the 3 go together, like north south, and then there's just the West hanging out over there. So I'm gonna say that the West one is not white.
Zach, is that your final answer?
Yeah, why not?
He's so wrong. That's the curveball of the question.
Zach, the Western Paladin is black.
Oh!
Fuck!
Ooh.
God damn it. That wasn't a curveball.
I thought, see, that was like the little sub game that I was playing. Was does he think it's going to be a curveball?
A curve back and it was
Uh-huh.
straight
It was a
back out.
slider the whole time.
I don't remember ball and
Oh, I just looked that card up. I actually know that art. I've seen that card before.
Oh, are you also familiar with Eastern Paladin? Because
I
that
am.
is also a card.
That's a lot of paladin.
My favorite one is the Northwestern. That one's green.
What about the Northwest Paladin? The one from Kanye and Kim.
Yeah, that one is an artifact creature, I think.
It's
'Cause I
just a
think-
pair of fucking easy
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Zach, you are the winner of the inaugural episode of, what did I call this game?
Frantic Inventory.
Frantic Inventory. Thank you. You're the inaugural winner of Frantic Inventory.
Salty Dog Rupert.
Listen, I thought that you were going to get the commons one.
Bruh. I literally made that game harder too. You were gonna give Zach, you're like, I wonder what Desecrated Earth does. Do you think you would get that? And I'm like, it's 4 and a black, and it probably makes him discard a card and destroy your land. And you're like, why do you go to that? And I'm like, because we made a freaking pauper deck for Zach.
Yeah, that's true.
based around this. You got to give him harder questions than that.
Yeah, you did workshop this game in your favor and still lost.
I didn't know any of those cards. It was just straight guessing. So
Oh, yeah, I made it intentionally so that you guys would probably know none of the cards.
sometimes
Yeah.
it's better to be lucky than good, you know?
I don't know anything about that.
I would say all the times it's better to be lucky than good.
If only my luck carried over to actually playing the game.
Yeah, so Zach, you 0-3 the Fetch and Talk post-release, pre-release, but you did win the first ever recorded episode of Frantic Inventory. So who's the real winner?
I think arguably this is the more prestigious achievement. So
Yeah, you're the reigning champion. And who knows when we'll ever fucking play this game again. So
it's gonna be a while. Might be a while before someone comes for the belt. So I'll see you in the ring.
Come for you, brother.
I'm the cream of the crop.
yeah, insert wrestling meme.
Go straight to the top.
Going straight to the top.
Get a Rupee Norton knockout.
God, do you remember that one time that I was Hulk Hogan for Halloween?
Yup.
And I just ran around and just screamed, I'll see you at WrestleMania, brother, at people?
That's pretty incredible.
Oh, because the Incredible Hulk, I get it.
Also, this may get edited out, but whenever you were talking about purposefully shitting yourself on a previous podcast,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever purposely pissed yourself? And I know the answer to this.
Absolutely, I have. Because the funny thing about that is, and this is not going to get edited out, because I know a guy who edits this that's definitely going to keep this in.
I'll slip him a couple bucks.
Yeah, the one time that I did purposely piss my own pants was New Year's Eve, like probably 2013.
Something like that.
And we dressed up in Depends adult diapers.
We were New Year's babies.
We went to the party as New Year's babies, and you and I were standing there talking, and like, oh well, we're wearing these diapers.
Might as well use them.
We use them for their intended purpose of pissing and shitting ourselves. Neither of us had to shit, so we just stood there, shook hands, and pissed ourselves, shaking hands.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you will not believe how heavy a human being's piss is until you're wearing your own piss.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, it's when you piss in a bottle. That's a lot of piss.
Yeah, like those Depends were feather light until we peed in them, and then they were made of concrete.
It felt like 5 pounds of piss just hanging waste.
Yeah, and then we went upstairs. I remember taking off my Depends and then putting another pair of Depends on.
Correct.
Yeah, and then just going back to business as normal.
No baby wipes or nothing.
No, absolutely not. So that's a pro tip for everyone out there. Just wear Depends everywhere, and you never have to go to the bathroom.
Especially at parties.
Yeah, if you have FOMO, if you fear missing anything, just pee your pants. But wear Depends, and you won't miss a thing.
It's just, what do they call those free plugs?
Free plugs.
I remember. You got free plug there, Depends.
Yeah, so it depends if you're listening.
And yeah, Fetch and Shock's podcast sponsored by Depends.
You're not a sponsor yet.
Yeah, that depends on whether they send us money or not.
Ooh, that was nice.
Well, fellas, I know that Zack was the winner of the game, but because I love you both so much, I'm going to give you both a shout out for this episode.
I'm going to take like 7 or 8 because I'm never going to come back to this shit ever in my life.
Shouts out to Ty Dollars. Shouts out to
Now, will more or less people get that reference than Brink?
Let's find out. Put a straw poll up on the
on the Fetch and Shock Discord.
Yeah.
If you get any of our references, or if you get none of our references, go to the Fetch and Shock Discord and vote.
Yeah. How many did you get? 1, 2, 3, 0? You two fucking. Are you not around? Are you not in your mid-20s to late 20s?
And lived the same life that we did. All right. So Zack, do you have a shout out for this episode?
I do. I don't think he really needs it, but me and Rupert were talking about it before we even started recording. And it's my favorite Magic artist. That would be Seb.
Mr. Seb McKinnon.
Absolute monster of art. And if it's skeleton-y, spirit-y, spooky, he nails it. He does a lot of black cards. That's why I'm familiar. And his red, white, and black contrast on his art is second to none, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And there's like the staples for me anyway would be like Debt to the Deathless, and then all the ones from I think it was Ikoria, the Mythos look like cave paintings.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Absolutely incredible. I kind of want to get those in a series of prints on my wall at some point. But
that would be so sick. Yeah, all of those.
That'd be a good office. That'd be so nice.
But yeah, he's one of those guys that makes Magic more than just a cardboard trading card game. It's you get to play with art, and it adds something really special to the flavor of the card. Yeah, it's just another added layer of appreciation I have for the game.
Absolutely.
Shouts out Seb McKinnon. Keep it up, man.
Yeah, shout out, Seb.
Yeah. Shout out, Seb.
Rupert, go to your list of 8 things.
All right. We got Seb. You got Omar Rayan. Those are 2 really good artists, obviously. A couple of YouTubers, Pleasant Kenobi and Ristic Study, both of which Tyler directed me to. Professor and Commander's Quarters, of which are like plastered on YouTube for a good reason because they're quality as fuck dudes. And then Max Mofo once opened Pokemon or Magic cards when that was cute.
Yeah, so he's the Magic content creator.
Yeah, he technically has posted Magic content, so shout out Max Mofo.
He has no idea about it, but he does it. So
no, he has no fucking clue, which honestly makes it a little bit funnier.
Yes,
1,000%.
And then shout out to Matt, Corey, another shout out to Adam Getz and Kevin from the other day. Those are my shout outs. And I got one more shout out for you, Tyler, for putting on this podcast every week for a year plus now, which has been pretty awesome.
That's a good shout out. That's a good shout out.
Thank you for giving me this to listen to and for having me and Zack on. And for, we've talked about a couple ideas that you have for spaces to fill in the meantime with Matt's absence coming up, and I'm excited to hear about all of those. It'll add a little, but Beth, his wife is, and future newborn child. Also, because I need to equalize, become to say.
Yeah, come back down to ground level.
And I don't really have an insult for you. Not right now, Tucker. I'll insult you a whole bunch when we.
Perfect. Yeah, because we're definitely jumping on and we're playing some wood nickel.
Yeah,
but
we're playing at least one Yamamoto.
You gotta end the episode the way that we always do. First of all, you gotta give a little shout out. My shout out for the week is gonna be the Fetch and Shock Twitter, which is Fetch_Shock.
Our social media.
Yeah, and you can also find me specifically, Tyler, at Basic Land Bin. You can find my co-host who isn't here, Matt, at It's Bop. You can find Rupert nowhere besides the Discord. You can find Zack.
Find him smoking a bowl while climbing a mountain.
Yeah, if you want to go to Colorado and find him doing that, go for it. You can find Zack on the Discord, Twitterless Zack.
Twitterless Zack, and if you ever see planes, I may be in one of those at some point. I don't know.
True, you do fly the planes. And then lastly, we've already said it a million times, but the Fetch and Shock Discord, if you're interested in anything that we talked about this episode, go on there. There's more discussion to be had. Fetch and Shock Discord. Find the link on our Twitter or in the description of this episode. All right, boys. Well, did you guys practice your saying for screaming at the end of this episode?
No, but I didn't practice the beginning really either. I just barely wrote it down legibly, and I did pretty okay there, so let's go for it.
Yeah, so winging it.
Some birds can't be caged.
All right. Well, if that's all we got, we will see you later.
See you later,
nerds!
Later, nerds.